before, but I didn't go back and look at it. So yeah, you had been on mute, so there were the large amounts of time that it seemed like nothing was being said, and then all of a sudden my voice would just kind of break in there and we'd go through stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing?
Good good morning.
Oh, that's the kind of
He's on mute.
Yes, I hear you. Oh, my name is Aukje. Okay, I'm here. Um, what was the question? Yes, I know what you mean. With organizer Karen. Yes, yes, I know. I know. Yes, I know. Yes, wow.
Take that off. Now, TV Land can hear me. It would be in the stream, but I think this audio of you guys would be disturbed, and so yada yada yada. So with that said, and also with the goal of trying to get this to be more efficient, Cedric is like the man for doing like the technical stuff. Of he's very interested and enthusiastic to learn GCP at the moment. So we're going to let him do all the talking, and I'm going to record it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute here, right? But before I do that, I just want to show everybody, kind of like get them into the group for what we're doing, and then I'm going to hand it over to Cedric. Okay. So anyway,
Okay.
I was just kind of like talking to Ankje in person because she was there with us when we used to do the stuff with Karen. With that said, if I know, like I recognize Mohammed and I recognize everybody else, but I don't recognize Rash. How you doing, Rash? You're muted. If you want to say something, go ahead. You can, and anybody can say something anytime they want. All right, all right. So, okay, well, so anyway, so the whole point of this is, and I'm trying to get this back to people that are new. Jumpstart your cloud career is quicklabs.com. They provide training materials. Their competitor would be a cloud guru, which I can't remember what the thing was that I had, like the whatever membership with them before. I didn't really use it that much, and I literally just canceled my cloud guru account because I just don't ever use it. Yada yada yada. So I'm going to kind of like try to focus back on Quick Labs, and one of the things is with Quick Labs, it's showing me what I have in progress. I thought that we'd done that one, or at least like I thought we did this one. Some of these things that we've done already.
John,
John, share your screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me share. That's not good. So, was I sharing the screen where I was showing the mic on the OBS software?
No, you were not.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, let me put that back out. So, like, you guys can hear me, but if I mute this, the people on the stream can't hear me. They can't hear me clicking on my keyboard, yada yada yada. But
So if I may ask you just quickly,
yeah,
what application are you? OBS? Is that
yeah,
a
and I think that stands for Open Source Broadcasting System, right?
okay?
And so
Okay.
you have like a
Okay.
live, and you got basically it's live streaming. You go up there and yada yada yada, and you put the password and you configure this, and you set it up for the way you want to capture. Basically the best way to do it though is to put it on another computer, right?
Okay.
Because it does, because when you start running stuff and you're doing this, yada yada, it takes up CPU bandwidth. But anyway, we're going to be using Quick Labs. I thought these were all like the quests. These are just the quests that I've started, or maybe, well, no, it says begin. Maybe it's stuff that I haven't done, or it's all of them that are available. I'm not sure. Not sure. Featured learning. They have all kinds of stuff here. Hello, Gene. How are you? Hello, hello, hello. Uh, they.
There you go.
There you go. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
So the thing is, what I try to steer people to is do this as much as possible, so that you don't use any money, but you're learning something, right? And if you go to cloudconsole.com and you start trying to do it there, it's going to cost you money, but you can simulate it here via the Quick Labs or a Cloud Guru, and this one is cheaper than the rest. With that said, one thing I like to show is regarding me. I'm gonna close all this. This is on the IRC stuff what we talked about, and that's the thing we're going to pick up here in a second. You get badges, and they used to what they would. I was clicking on this just to see if it was accessible there. It's not. They changed the way this looked. It used to give you a count of how many labs you had done, quests you had done, games you had done, yada yada yada, and now it's only showing like the full quest completed, and you can see I really haven't done a lot versus says starting in 2015. Hey, Laverne. Is Laverne, did she join? Okay, maybe it popped up. But here it's only showing I completed in 2018. So I'm not real sure about the dates, and I'm not sure if everything got translated. And I can't even remember when I started doing it, but I think like it was like, I want to say 16 or 17, 18 maybe, when I went to the first Cloud Next. So anyway, so that's that, and we're going to get into that. And the way to get into that and get it the free thing is to come here today, where last 3 weeks, we did this one. We're going to start this one. And what I'm thinking, like I said, I don't know. I'm not a Google certified expert, yada, but I use it, and some of these things are good. And when you do them, you get out what you put in. If it's one you're just buzzing through and you're just like hitting the buttons and following along, you're not going to get as much out of it, but you're at least exposed to it. And if you're exposed to it 4 or 5 times, you'll build up a little muscle memory and it will help you, right? I think so that's important. These ones that are in this form here, I believe, are kind of more of the later, and they have challenge labs. This one had a challenge lab that we spent 2 weekends on, right? And this one, I don't think I'm enrolled, but let's get you started. So the first thing everybody has to do is you have to go out and create a Quick Labs account. So you want to go back to this website, create this, make sure you're how you want to like create, because you're trying to create a public record for what you're going to go back and do. Make sure you have this logged in when you're at the quicklabs.com first. And we're doing that based upon this email, right? So we're going to kind of step through it. And Cedric, you could step through it, but I got it up already. So I'm going to step through it, and then I'm going to hand the labs over to you. Is that cool? Is that what we're all on? Okay.
Yep, that's good.
All right. So what they're saying is if you've already signed into it, sign out. That's implying that you've already signed in and created one. Okay. And we're going to do this process, and you're going to get free credits to use this, and you're going to be able to use it outside of what we're doing. Okay. So I'm going to give it a few minutes to let everybody do this. If you haven't done this part, let me know. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming.
So John, just a quick clarification here.
Yeah.
So if I'm already signed, obviously I have a Quick Lab account already.
Yep.
This step tends to get me confused all the time. So do I need to sign out of that account? Is that what this instruction is calling for?
Yeah, yep. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sign out like so. So I've created an account, and I'm going to sign out. I'm going to go through that. I was just wanting to show you yada yada yada. That was the same.
Okay, why don't you, if I may just, why don't you just go through it with observe you,
okay,
look what happens, and then we'll try and mimic what you know.
All right, very good. So
Right.
First off, they don't tell you here also, but they're going to say like go to this in an incognito window, and the bit about the incognito window is important. Trust me, just do it for now, and then you'll see why later, and it'll be shorter to explain. But go do that. You can see I've got it here in a non-incognito window, but I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to copy this link. I think everybody is out. I think it's this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it to a new one. And I'm on incognito.
Can you please post that in chat, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Also, just since we're in chat, and I'm going to be posting it more, because these meetings are only an hour long. We're going to have to be copying a URL in Slack, and you're not going to be here. So make sure you've joined that as well. Okay? If you've joined, so you want to join this one so that when this meeting ends in an hour, we're going to post the new meeting there for you to hop to. It's just because we're doing this on a budget. Okay, so yeah, and now they're saying if you've already enrolled in the quest, also, well, okay. So they should have said check that. Let me sign in and make sure I'm not in the quest. So you've created an account, go do the thing, and yada yada yada, and it is Perform Infrastructure class. Can't copy and paste. Perform Foundational. Okay, so here is the quest. It looks like I'm not enrolled. Right, so that's good. Okay. And then you need to sign out again, yada yada yada. So I'm signed out. And then you're going to go to this URL, And here, you're going to click on enroll. They're going to ask you to put in this URL. I'm going to paste it here. Hey, Laverne, put that code in. Click I'm not a robot. After the 1 millionth try from the same IP, it finally accepted it. Okay, and then you submit. Enroll in this quest. Sign in again. Okay, what? Already enrolled in. Oh my god, this thing kills me. It says, here it says begin. Okay, let's look. Alright, so it says, so what I'm going to unenroll just for grins. And I'm going to try this again. I thought the begin was saying that I hadn't enrolled. My bad. As you do labs on this platform, the labs for one lab, as you do quests, you'll do labs, and the labs on one quest could be a shared resource, shared lab on the other quest. Okay. All right, and then we enroll in here. And maybe I didn't see any red bars, so I think that worked. All right, the last thing I want to do before we go up there to and turn over to Cedric is that part of what we're going to do is Cedric is going to be focused on doing the lab. I'm going to be trying to do the lab at the same time, but I'm also going to go into here. And so we did like that quest, right? I don't want to be creating GitHub repos and adding people and yada, yada, yada. We're going to create one GitHub repo for the quest. And then for each of the labs in that quest, we'll just have a different markdown file. And I encourage you, like that's the common note repository for us all. If you make notes, if you see something that's important, put it in there. It will also teach you to learn Git, and we'll also get all the problems of having multiple people using Git, creating problems, and we'll resolve them. And as we resolve them, we'll learn Git. How about that? So, it looks like we've got plenty of people, but if you haven't got a GitHub ID, get a GitHub ID, and then I will invite you as a developer. You'll be able to push stuff, yada, yada, yada. We'll handle the problems. Don't worry about it. And with that said, I will create a quest and I'll start logging. As soon as we do that, we're turning it over. So if you're not up here already, please be up here. You can just put your email here in the chat on the side. And let's go ahead and we'll create one. It's going to be quick. We'll do a QL, just I know short names are bad, but it's less typing, yada, yada, yada. And this quest that we're doing is, where is it? That's why I had it dragged out. It is perform infrastructure task. So let's do PFIT, and that'll be sufficient. And when I'm going to mute my mic, I'm going to add and let Cedric take it over. So let me do that.
John, go ahead and knock out the diversity and inclusion. You gonna go ahead and do the diversity and inclusion statement while you're there? All right. All right. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining in your perspective time zone. Last week we did we finished the quest task on the challenge task, that is, for hold on, lost my spot here.
Cedric, you're not sharing yet, are you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So we completed the quest last week of create and manage resources. Go ahead and share my screen. All right. So, like I said, last week we completed the quest of create and manage cloud resources. What we did here, in previous weeks, we went in the quick labs and the tour of the quick labs, how to access the console, creating the virtual machine, starting with the Cloud Shell and G-Cloud. We deployed a Kubernetes instance, the network and load balancer, and then the previous 2 weeks, we focused directly on create and manage cloud resource challenges, challenge lab. In our GitHub repository, we do have the solution for that. So if you have not completed that any part of the challenge, feel free to go back there, pull that down, and you can actually execute that. Within the actual challenge lab, we have the configuration for the 3 individual tasks. They were written as bash scripts. So if you need to focus in on just one particular task, you can easily build out the other 2 tasks in order to jump around to what's needed. Before I go any further, does anybody have any questions about this lab, the challenge lab, or the quest itself? Feel free to either unmute yourself or post in chat and I can read it out. Cool. Looks like there's no questions. So, knowing that we were completing this lab and quest this last week, we're moving on now to the perform. Let me get there. Back button may not always be my friend. Down to favorites. So this week we're going to do the perform foundational infrastructure task in Google Cloud. This is relatively a short set of labs plus the challenge lab as well, but we'll go through and talk about them and knock these off. Feel pretty good that we can get through some of these relatively easy. The labs here consist of just a cloud storage quick start that'll be done on the cloud console. The secondary lab is using the CLI. Then we have identification authorization management. So access controls for user access. So the quick start again in the console. Cloud monitoring. Then we go into some of the serverless functions. So cloud functions, the quick start from the console, and or the command line. Then we have the Google Cloud publisher and subscription, quick start. So how to use event-driven processes, and again, console or command line, and also using SDK and actually using Python. And then last but not least, we then have the challenge lab, putting the things that we've learned in the earlier labs to work to actually complete a couple of tasks. Yep. Makes sense to me as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start in with the cloud storage quick start. So, all right, so what we're going to do in here, this is all about the actual cloud storage itself. The basics for any lab, signing in, launching the lab itself. We'll be provided with our credentials. Then, um, using the console, we're going to go in and we're actually going to create a storage bucket. We'll create the ID. The ID we'll use is actually the project ID. Whole purpose of that, there's a naming standard, but one thing that's most important is that it has to be globally unique within GCP. So project IDs are always unique. We'll need verify and set our region. The class of storage that we'll set, it'll be standard uniform access control. Then we'll have some quick Q&A. And we're going to put a cute little cat image inside the bucket as a file. We'll complete that task. Another question there. Then we'll go in and we're going to actually share that bucket. We're going to share that image openly. So we should be able to go to a web browser and actually view that image. At this point, I believe the actual point value for the lab is completed, but there's still some other steps. So we're going to go in, create a folder, create two folders actually, upload some files just to see the different size. Then we'll come back and delete a folder. So some basic management from within managing your storage. All right. So scroll up to the top here and let's get started. I'll hit Start Lab. I get prompted for the credits. I'll hit Launch. open in the GCP console. I'm going to right click and I'm actually going to open in I'm using the Firefox browser here. So I'm going to use open in a private window. If I was using Chrome, it'd be incognito. So I'm going here, hit next. Cut and paste my password. All right. So split my windows so that they're here together. So just looking at early things I'm going to need, here's my project ID. And it should be the same as what I have down here as well. Hopefully everybody was able to get into the lab with the credits from registering from the quest. If you're not able to get in properly, please post in the chat. So I signed in. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is going to go in using the navigation menu, go to cloud storage and go to the storage browser. So find cloud storage browser. And what I have here in the center screen is the create bucket. All right. So it wants me to have that, create that name, and hopefully I got it pasted. I don't. Get my project from here. At the top. All right. So that's there. Hit continue. It's a couple things that it wants me to have in here. So I'm going to choose my region. I'll select the region as location type. It was region. And I'm going to use the US East one. I'll hit continue. Going to choose the standard storage. Note there are 4 types of storage. Might be something that shows up on a test. I'll hit continue. And the uniform access control, either uniform or fine grain. I'll hit continue. Actually, I don't have nothing else beyond that. It's just going to be create. And if I wanted to set anything for encryption, that would be the next one. But I'll hit continue. Hit create. And we now have a bucket. Notice at the top, public access shows that it's not public. So if I come up here, and, that was pretty straightforward here, but if I check my progress, it should show that I have a bucket. All right, so task number 1 is complete. So now we have questions. Below multiple choice questions to reinforce your understanding of this lab concepts. Answer to the best of your ability. So looking for participation here. Every bucket must have a unique name across the entire cloud storage namespace. True or false? All right, Mohammed said true. Anybody else? All right, I got 3 trues, so go ahead and let's give true a try here. Absolutely right. So, and I stated that before, it's you want to have that unique namespace all the way across um all the cloud storage. All right. Um Cloud storage offers which storage classes? Standard, colon, archive, and nearline. And if you look at the question, it has square boxes. So that means there's going to be multiple answers. So being that we created our storage and it's right there on the screen, it shows standard. That's definitely one. Looks like Musa said came back and he said all of the above. So cloud line, archive, nearline. And of course, if we don't get the right answer, we can always hit the button again after we adjust our answer. But I do believe there were 4. All right. Moving on. So now we're going to upload into a bucket. So we've got our storage. If you notice here on the console, we have the option to upload files, upload folders, create folders. So I'm going to take this image in the center. I'm going to save this as an image. Call it kitten. All right, I'm going to upload that file. So now that image, that file or object shows up. And you do have options in the event that I did not name it correctly. I could do a rename. All right. And it already took my check, so it's there. All right. We're back to another question. Object names must be unique only within a given bucket. True or false? I have a true and I have a false. I'm gonna need at least a third person to weigh in so I can get a quorum. So I've got 3 falses. John, I believe, weighed in, and a true. So we're gonna go false. Oh, I've got a yes. All right. We're gonna go. I'm gonna weigh in. I'm gonna say true. So yep. So within once you have your actual bucket name, the only thing that need to be unique is the actual objects within that bucket. They can be you can use that same name over and over again anywhere else, but just not in the same location or
Yeah,
same bucket.
I got the terminology mixed up. I thought you were referring to bucket. I should listen more carefully.
No worries. That's why we're here to discuss.
Yeah, wonderful.
All right. All right. So I'm going next. Has one thing, John. One thing that I forgot to do is hit the button to see what happens before we go further. To see what type of message. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. And I think it's more important on the challenge lab than these initial labs, so right. Okay. Okay, cool. Alright.
I'm doing good. How are you?
He was
Yeah,
here
I was
last week.
last time. Hey, I have the subscription from the last time, so I don't think I'll need the code or anything. I although I see the code on Slack. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So which lab are you working on today?
Yep. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And we're on GSP 073, which is the cloud storage quick start in Cloud Console.
Oh, okay. Because I am parallelly doing this GCP lab, so I'll just complete that and maybe I'll get to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Anyways,
if you go to our GitHub repository, we have everything from last week. So if you want to compare, you can just go out there and grab that.
Sure, no worries. Thanks, guys.
Mhm. All right. So moving on here. So last thing we need to do is we're going to share this object publicly. So we go under the permission tab and we're going to click on the public access. So be careful of the wording. Um, remove public access prevention. So that means that we're actually going to provide public access. And we hit confirm. And below that, we're going to ensure that um, the view for members, we're going to go and add that. So I scroll down here and I hit the add button. And I'm thinking the lab is older. This used to say members and not principals. So there is a little wording difference between what you see in the lab and what you're actually seeing in the console. So for new principals, I'm going to search for all users. And under role, I'm going to select a specific role of storage object viewer. So cloud storage, store object viewer. And I'll hit save there. So allow that public access. So that should be shared publicly. If I go back to my object and actually click on the object itself, it's going to give me a public URL or an authenticated URL. If I go up here and I see a kitten, super exciting. I go ahead, complete that. So technically, if you notice at the top, I've got 100%. So all of the graded checks are completed, but they're going to do just a couple more things here. So creating a folder. If I go back to the bucket itself, have that option for create a folder. Oops. Create a folder, not upload. Folder 1. And they're going to have me do create folder 2. So I've done that. And then if I want to put something in there, upload a file. Just put something else in there. So got a nice little image there. If I go back to the objects page itself, oops. Viewing the folder, view the image. If I drill down, I'd be looking at my files inside of there. Now, if I want to delete, go back to the bucket and highlight and delete. When you do a delete, you get prompted to confirm your deletion. And that is it. Any questions, comments, thoughts about that? And like I said, again, kind of straightforward. We're coming to the end of the hour. And our first session here is going to die out. So John will be starting another one up when this comes to an end. This is a perfect time to take just a short break, 5-6 minute break. When you come back, just join the next session and we'll start up and move on to the next lab. If you don't have any other questions, I'll see you on the other side.
All right, so bear with me. I am trying to. What I'll do is I will close this one, and I will restart. So just bear with me. All right, so we're going to, that's there. Holy moly. I was on mute. There was 8 minutes left in the other thing. We're going to join over here. Hello again.
Hello.
Hey, hey. yesterday I was pretty busy. I got up. When I got up, it was dark, and then went out, met one dude, and he's like 70 years old, or he's 69. He's getting ready to be 70, but he's semi-retired and he's doing his thing. I was doing stuff with him, and met another dude doing stuff. The three of us, and then later I came out and I used a grinder and fiberglass. I put it on my truck. Yada yada yada. Cedric, are you back yet, or just rejoining?
Just rejoin him and step away for a second.
Okay, all right. I'll just chew the fat for a bit. Did all that, and I thought I was going to move dirt in my compost pile. I didn't, but on that truck, I grinded down some existing fiberglass that I had put to fix a hole in the. It's actually in the frame of the body down low. It's a truck, yada yada yada. I had previously ground out all the rust, so it was a fresh hole, and put stuff in it, and I left it there for years, and it looked really bad. It wasn't even painted, it wasn't even sanded. And I went back and took the grinder and got that up and put that back, and it was just a rust job. So it was like fiberglass, sand, wait an hour, fiberglass, sand, more fiberglass, and then I just spray painted it with a spray can. And I didn't have the flat black that I normally have. I had two cans I went through and they were bad. And then I put gloss in. I don't know if that will show. You can't. There's too much glare on the window. I could delete. I'm looking at it right now. That part's done, and didn't get to my compost pile, so I'm gonna do that today. And if you also were part of here at the first of the meeting where Cedric and I was talking, we're trying to get the AWS group started back up, and where we've been doing these for 4 hours, we're going to do these as 2 hours. I think it'll be better for the people on the that's late for them, India, and Asia. They won't be up so late. And then the 1 o'clock we'll start with AWS, and we'll start doing those. We got to at least do something and get that started again. And so we're not going to be doing the 4-hour labs next week. I hope that's not a problem for anybody. I think it's best to do a little rather than nothing, and doing nothing with AWS is not good. I don't keep up the skills. And and you got a telescope there. Do you look at the planets and stuff at night, Musa? You're muted there, buddy. Nope, you unmute.
Yeah, actually, it belongs to my son.
Ah.
Yeah, right behind me is the backyard. So he moves it out to the backyard to gaze at the stars.
Yeah. I don't have a telescope. I never have. I got a friend that does, but I really like the apps that have like direction finding on them and stuff. So
right.
You can point it up, and now they got some that are like augmented reality, where you try to literally match the camera view to what the star view should be in your place. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah, this one is all manual.
Yeah. It's a manual, yeah. But you can find it with the app, and then sometimes if you have those apps, and I do, I literally, stupid me paying money for them. But I remember when Google used to have one. I think it was called Skyview or something. And sometimes they'll say bring your binoculars, because it's not that bright what they're trying to point out. And I don't even do that. I'll just look at it and see what I can see with the naked eye. It's kind of cool. I'm glad your son does that. How old is your son?
16.
16. So he's driving.
Yeah, he started driving back in April.
So did you buy him a really fancy sports car because you know he's going to wreck it? You just want to go ahead and get that wreck out of the way, or did you buy him a clunker knowing that he's going to wreck it, and you give him that to start out with? What do you do?
Yeah, well, actually, we got my wife's former boss was selling her 10-year-old BMW.
Yeah.
So that was what he got.
Okay, that's good to give a 16-year-old boy. They'll love it.
No, he's super. He was going to. My wife was going to give him her RAV4,
Yeah.
but he didn't. RAV4 was was good enough.
Yeah.
He didn't. Well, actually, the RAV4 is newer,
Yeah.
but he just loved the BMW more. So
Yeah.
that's what he got.
I was there's a TV show or a YouTube channel, I should say, and it is I think it's called Everyday Driver or something like that. And I watched it had two guys when I watched it, and I've seen some of the other ones where it's just one guy, but the one that I liked was it was best sports cars under $8,000, and they were saying that it has to be rear-wheel drive, has to be manual, and other than that, I don't think it had to be 8,000 or less. And they had like two BMWs. They had a Mazda Miata, an SLK, had a Pontiac, and had the Toyota MR2 Spider, had all that stuff.
They still make that
Yeah, yeah.
Pontiac.
So, but what they do is like I watch a lot of these where these people do this. It's kind of cool. In that case, they've got a podcast and they got a big following, and people like donated the cars, and so I don't think they're driving their cars. Some of them they did buy, but some of them is just like people are lending them, right?
Oh, I see.
And they put them on the road, and they both got mics, and they swap, take turns driving. That was interesting. Um, that same group, they've done it where like here's a low end car, and here's a they'll scale them, and here's a $120,000 car, right?
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, and so they'll drive around. The last one I watched was a Corvette versus a Porsche. What's the one? It's not a 911, but it's like the 700 series is what they call it. So it's kind of like it's a son of 911, dad of the Boxster, and just looking at that, it was kind of interesting. Watched Nuremberg last night. Yada yada yada.
All right.
He's back.
So I'm back.
He's back and better than ever.
Back and better than ever.
Tan, rested, and ready.
All right, share my screen.
Everybody's logged out of their old Quick Labs lab that you quick to close and everything. All right, I'm going off mic.
All right. So not that first lab. We'll click on the CLI and the SDK here for pretty much the same lab. So for scrolling here, this is about using the Cloud Shell or using the SDK. Login will be about the same. This time you will activate the shell. When you lost the shell, very important thing to do is to validate your configuration, the account, the project that you're logged into. So again, creating that bucket. And in this lab, they actually do a little differently. So we use multi-region, and then they're actually going to enable the public access from here. Fine grain access control. And then we should see the bucket name get created. And of course, this is that pointing out to the bucket being if it's not a unique name, then from the shell, accessing a link in order to bring it in. So from in the G shell or Cloud Shell, you can use webgit. We use the gsutil cp command to copy that into your bucket. If we wanted to remove an image, we do an rm. If we wanted to, yes. Mhm. Yes. I'm wondering because this one has the different options. I think that's what they're just calling out from that creation. But yeah, you can use the gsutil mb command to create a bucket. Sure. Yeah, I'm all for it. Then we're gonna have some questions here of creating the bucket. Well, checking the bucket is the task. Then we're gonna have a question about each bucket has storage default storage class. Can you specify when yours created? Oh, did I read that right? Each bucket has a default storage class, which you can specify when you create the bucket. True or false? And adding the bucket. I'm sorry, adding an image to the bucket, copying the image, removing, more shell commands, um, downloading that from the bucket to a location. Now we're gonna copy something over from a folder. Wait a minute, does it have us create the folder? It must create when we write it. Your bucket image folder. Yep. Well, we'll see what happens when we do it. We're going to list the contents of a bucket or a folder. List the details of the actual image or object. And then the command line method to enable the access. Little Q&A. So access control list is a mechanism you can use to define who has access to a bucket or objects and objects. Then from the command line, how to remove access. And a question, you can stop public sharing an object by removing permissions entry that have blah. We'll figure that out by then. And then last but not least, we'll actually remove an image from a bucket. I thought we did that earlier, but we'll do that again. All right. So let's get started. All right. Open in the incognito or private window. All right, so project, make sure that's correct. And this time I will launch my SDK session. Okay. Make this a little bit bigger for everybody to see. All right. Mhm. Okay. So of course I want to do my vCloud compute config list. So this is going to give me all my settings for my session. Oh, no, I want to initialize vCloud init. I'm glad I did that. I was going to actually be working out of my own stuff. And that's the project number 4. Now, config list. So I'm set for central. Here's my account and project. All right. And if I was doing this from the shell, I'd go here, activate shell. And it shows me everything there. vCloud fig list would show up here as well. Authorize my API calls. And it should have same information. All right. So now we got all the authentication out of the way. And project ID, I'm just curious. Isn't project ID in here already? Hmm? Bummer.
Okay.
Okay. So you capitalize project. And let's see, the rest of that I can just grab. Oh, no, I can't. Grab that. Da, da, da. You did lowercase. All right, so that's my bucket name. And then you did gsutil dash p project name. So using the variables, project ID, then setting the storage class, bucket location, dash B on bucket name, and the name of the path. Do you need this on? Did that work? Because mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So the only thing I was looking at was the dash B, but that sets the uniform bucket level access control. So that's that ACLI for the fine grain. So now, so just turning it on does that. So that's what I was looking at here. What this option meant. Gotcha. All right. So, all right. So bucket created and it's unique enough. And I've already jumped my 50% is showing. And if I wanted to list my buckets, gsutil mb, I think it's list. Or LB maybe? Huh. gsutil ls. See what happens. Yep. All right, so each bucket has a default storage class, which you can specify when you create the bucket, true or false. I'm gonna go with true. Anybody feel strongly about false? All right. Now we're gonna upload something into the bucket. I'll snatch this out. And why I use the SDK over the G shell is I would have to do like a control V in order to do the paste. Whereas within my shell for my Linux box, I can just paste. So wget output document, file name, then location of the file. Nothing really complicated there. And of course that downloaded it local to my machine. So if I do a ls, I see that in my directory. And now I'm gonna copy that to my bucket name. Oh, and relying on the variable that I have. All right, so that's now copied over. And if I wanted to remove the file local to me, and if I want to download that from the bucket back to me, gsutil cp-r gs bucket name, file name, g, then to the current location. All right. Now I'm gonna copy it into a folder. So gsutil cp gs bucket name, and this is what I was interested about before, is I know I don't have that folder created already. So when I do this, will it create this folder on its own?
Oh, it
And,
did.
and apparently it does.
Oh,
So
that's neat.
yes, util ls. I was wondering if that was gonna let me do it recursively, but I guess it does not. So if I'm in the bucket, it automatically recurses down. So there's a lowercase r. Let's see what. And T doesn't. Yeah. Uh-huh. But see, the list on the bucket, like I guess I can't do it from the top level. So I would have to specify the bucket. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I guess that could be problematic if you had a lot of storage and everything. Yeah, right. Yeah, like I said, I'm okay with that. All right, let's see. So I've been playing around. So I did I do the copy? Yeah, I did the copy. All right, let's see the copied into the folder. Yes. And of course, then we got ahead of ourselves, so we started doing the list. So it lists here, and we kind of dove into the LS a little bit further. So doing it by itself will list the buckets. Then if you actually list the bucket, then you see the contents of the bucket. So we definitely did that. And then the -L, so listing all of the contents. Well, we didn't do it on the file itself. So I can go ahead and do that. Oops. Actually, I'm already here. JPG. Oh, that would not be a recursive lookup. That needs to be an L. Oh, no, I'm not spelling it right. Ta-da. So single object file size. All right, now we're gonna do the ACL to make this guy public. Oh, because I cut and paste directly from the example, so I didn't have the variable in there. All right. So, huh. Pretty sure you have owner role access to this resource. Did you get the same error? Hmm. Yep. So let's see what's going on here. Yeah, my public access isn't set. Well, no, it's not supposed to be. So if I go here, and then if I add,
What's the error again? So maybe I can look it up.
mm-hmm, that dash B on sets the uniform. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, so it's not set to fine grain. So I can definitely do it here. How do we do it from the command line?
I did a search on Stack Overflow, and what it is saying to do is that you need to give yourself storage admin and storage. Uh, Let me post this so people can actually take a look.
See, we definitely need to set it for the object level. So let's see what's going on here.
I usually like the labs to be very self-contained, so you don't have to do any kind of additional tweaking to make it work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're making adjustment of the storage well, but if we're owner of the project, shouldn't we already be?
Yeah, that makes sense. That if you're already owner of the project, you should ought to have like a um, complete administrative access to it.
So there's my student account. No, is that my student account? Yeah, I don't think the account does. So, oh, G-Cloud.
Yes, slightly different. Yeah. Oh, the one you just posted is from Google.
Oh no. I forgot this lab was only like 30 minutes, so
Oh, wait, was it that we were timed out?
yep. All right. I'm gonna bring that up here. So G Cloud. E. Oh, that's right. Oh, I didn't make it. And I will stop sharing mine if somebody's available. Ada JPG. So can I get AC legacy ACL for object when uniform bucket access is enabled? No, but I like kind of going in and doing the extra pieces like this, because these would be questions that you'd see on a test. I thought I was sharing. Yeah, every once in a while, that was working for me, but then it stopped. Mm-hmm. So so where is the fine grained? Okay, let's give that a shot. So let me leave that page. I'll move that down here for now. And let's start it up again. Change the project ID. And all right, we got the 10-minute mark here. I'm not gonna do that because we're gonna run out. So, hmm Well, technically, I already have it in my directory, my SDK, so got all that there. All right, so now let me reinitialize. ED, not in the list. So is that so that turns it on, but we want fine grain, so we would do off? Because we want, yeah. And you can shortcut that to UBLA. So there's the copy that satisfies that. Oh, why didn't that satisfy that? Image folder. Oh, should be image dash folder.
Okay, that's great.
So I know if I go to the console, they have the conversion button. So now I'm just curious. If I could do it in the UI, I definitely should be able to do it from here. Where did I see that at before? So the hmm.
Cedric, I'm gonna let you take over here in a second, but I just wanted to. I was just going to show you this what I've done. So the and I put this in the GitHub repo just for grins, just to make sure everybody's got it. They have it. It's there. All right, so it's up in the GitHub repo. So we did dash b off, b on here. When we did that, and we got to the last step of the lab, this we failed on this, right? And we went through trying to do all the different things, and there was this bit here, workaround for the dash B on. And what we did there was we looked at this web page here, right? And it's literally, the first one I posted, it was like post and enable. That was, and you pointed out, John, what are you doing, dude? It's already that. Then we did this, or I did this. when I did that, the thing literally said disabling uniform level. But then when I went back trying to do this, which is essentially setting this is the help page for setting this, that failed. So all I said was, like, I think you may have to like recreate the bucket from the get go, recreated the bucket from the get go, and did all this stuff to fix that. Where is it? And I didn't. This is just where I deleted it. But now you can see that worked, right? The GSUtil bit worked.
You know what I just did?
Yeah.
I just removed the file. I removed the object.
You remove the file.
Yep.
So essentially, you did this as an on, remove that file, and then you were able to do this bit.
Yes.
You were the man. All right, very good. So either way, it's like once you put it there, you got to take it out.
Yep.
I've noticed that on some of these, when you do stuff with Google Cloud, some things are totally flexible and you can change them up. Some things, the only way to do it is to create a new one.
Okay.
So whatever. So I'm deleting the bucket and you're deleting the file. Either way, whatever. It'd be interesting to know if you could do it another way as well, though. I'm going to mute
Yes.
and stop sharing.
All right. So yeah, so that was interesting. So as we were working through that, I was getting to that point. So once you make that change and you get the error message, because that finer grain access wasn't applied to that object, so we had to, once we made the change, everything going forward new would automatically get that, but things that were already there were just sitting there. So removing the file and then putting it back, or copying a new version, a new ID, then made that change. So I wonder, is there, like you said, I wonder, is there a way to um, apply that change to everything that's already in there? So, all right. I like that. That was fun. And question there is, the access list is a mechanism you use to define who has access. We know that's true. And below the multiple choice question, you can stop public sharing of an object by removing permission entry that have all user, remove project owner, or by updating the storage class. I guess that'd be the all user. Project owner would be bad if you did that. And I don't believe by updating storage class would make that difference. Well, actually, I think our exercise that we just went through probably proves that it doesn't make a difference. All right. So for those that have rejoined, any questions? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we finished this one. And that's 2 labs we went through. John, I will say, I wouldn't mind doing the. So the next one's 45 minutes, and that's the going through the account and user access and permissions. we could easily spend 2 hours by itself on that, just kind of going away from the lab and just kind of talking through it. I think there's some good content there, so I don't want to rush that. Yep.
It's a longer lab, and I would like to apply myself fresh to it and take it in a and take it in a leisurely pace rather than just
Yeah.
trying to knock it out. And I've done this thing before, and you can just knock it out. But like I said, I'd rather enjoy it and kind of just play around with it.
Yeah, the discussion around that. So I definitely move that one to the next week, if anything. Um, I was kind of this was the first time. This week is the first time that I actually went in and did the cloud functions. I was excited about that, like just getting the experience. It's only a short 15 minutes, so um, if anybody wants to go through that, we could do that today, or we could put that on this next week as well. I think this leads into a lot of the serverless type activities,
Mm-hmm.
but doing this one and the publisher and subscription, definitely tying those together could be a thing in itself, and actually going back and forth a couple of times, because there were some things that I saw that I spent some extra time just going in looking at options that weren't really covered in the lab. So
Right,
um,
and the other one is, well. So here's the other deal is that one has an or condition, right? So the 15-minute just creating a cloud function in the UI, yeah, that'll be a little quick. But then they've got 30 minutes on the CLI version, and
correct.
I'd rather do them both at the same time. And now you're like at 45 minutes and also new topics, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then
So
and it's a cinch by the inch, it's hard by the yard. So I'd rather just do it a little bit. The
okay.
the other thing is the nice. So the just so we could talk about the cloud functions, and maybe my energy level will go up and my headache will go away. But the cloud functions is basically an endpoint that will get called based upon a trigger, and you can have the trigger come from pub sub, or you can have the trigger where it's a REST API that you hit, and then it does its thing, right? So there's a lot of stuff there that we could talk about.
Yeah, the inside of the Ace Study Guide book,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really go that deep. It just kind of tells you what it is. But as I was playing around, I was kind of getting excited about that, and that kind of renewed me looking back at the Slack bot and bringing up things, because I would love to really start to do more with that, and then get that Google Cloud base, and even if I don't, if I do that on my own and play around with it, but just getting that full understanding, I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
So
basically the other thing is, yeah, exactly. It's a REST API, and then they have a thing called ESP, which allows you to authenticate based upon that API. So, the you can put a cloud function out there that anybody can call from, but you don't want anybody to call from it. You only want the authenticated users, and they put
correct.
the ESP in there. At least I think it's still called ESP, but it's
All right.
basically it's the core of your serverless, like you were saying, right?
Yep.
I know that Jim, he does, he does his stuff with Firebase, right? And you can put cloud functions in Firebase, but you can also put cloud functions in cloud functions, and Firebase calls it. And it's actually a little bit better interface. So where in Firebase, you have one UI for editing these things. If you're in Cloud Studio, I think it's a little better, and that's where the emphasis is. You can do it there as well. Um,
Okay.
but it's a nice day, and I've got dirt to move, and I've been sitting here for 2 hours, and my headache's hurting me. I need to get
Okay.
outside and get in the sunlight. But if you want
So I'll
to,
put it.
I can drop
Yep.
off and you can do it, but I'm just going to ask to redo it another time. Or
Well, so let me put it to the group. So how do you guys feel about stopping here today and what we can do is throughout the week, if you can, take some time to look at um, the cloud IAM and the cloud functions. So then when we come in next week, we can have a full in kind of bigger discussion around what you saw in the lab and expand upon a lot of the concepts and just talk through it. And again, this is all for the purpose of gaining more understanding and getting prepared for the ACE exam. And of course, through the week, if you do have questions, if you come out to the Slack channel and ask those questions under the channel Quick Labs help, either myself or John will definitely jump in to assist with. Maybe somebody else within the group will see it and respond as well. So we're here to help and do all of those things. But how do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think security is very should be one of those fundamental things. So I think we ought to we should take the time to go through the cloud IAM.
Okay.
So so I definitely think the discussion would help to
Okay.
to better understand it. No, actually, I've just been watching Cedric. I'm going to my brain is a little fried right now. I need to go back and revisit it. But everything you've talked about today has been quite helpful. One thing I do have a question on though is in signing up for the okay, I enrolled in the quest, right? But uh, it's saying I only have 4 credits. Right,
Credits. And when you get the 5 credits, it will be enough to do that first lab.
right.
And then once you do the first lab, I think it gives you like 10 more credits or something.
Oh, okay, I
And,
get
and,
it
then, and then
because I was
when you complete them at the end, it says,
right.
okay, he's completed the whole quest. Let's give him 30 days.
Okay,
And that
well,
should be what's happening or something like that.
okay, that's a good motivation for me because definitely I was looking through all the labs and at the very top it's saying that it requires 10 credits,
Yeah.
but if I only have 4 according to my profile,
Mm-hmm.
then I haven't done anything yet. I haven't done any of the labs yet. So maybe as I do the labs, I get additional credits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also that says 10 credits. That might be 10 credits for the whole quest. Scroll down
Right.
there, Cedric, and
Yeah,
see what it is for
that's gonna be
that.
for the whole quest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think everything but the last one is ends up.
Okay.
Yeah, so what's funny is they give if they're only so as a new user, if you really just started today and they only
Right.
gave you 5 credits, that's kind of sad because that means that you only get 5 credits to do the whole quest and you got to get 10. So they've got to somehow, upon completion, give you more credits so that you can
Right.
do them all, and then also give you the opportunity where it's like an or situation that you could do
Right.
all 3 of the or situations, right? So
Yeah. Definitely. I want. I usually do I usually do the entire thing. I don't do the minimal
yeah,
because I want to be.
Now,
You
did you
know.
complete the last week's quest?
I did most of it except the last one.
Okay, because one thing that you want to do, you will get that bonus 30 days if you complete the entire quest.
Okay. I haven't.
So,
Yeah. I did everything except the last one.
okay. And I think, John, correct me if I'm wrong about that, because I think you have to do it within the week. Is that how you get the full, or just whenever you complete it?
to be honest with you, Cedric, I don't know, Brian. Because it used to be they gave you a code. And remember, like when you click on that link, it says use credits or use code.
Yep.
And so it's changed so much I can't keep up with. But originally, what I would do is I would literally have little pieces of paper that had unique codes, and like I would go around and I would give 5 pieces of paper with 5 different codes to each person, and then you just let it rip, right? And then
Okay.
later they came out with subscriptions, and now they've got subscriptions and credits. But I also don't see when we start those labs, like use your subscription. It seems to me like when we started it, it was this lab you either use a credit or you use a code, but we don't
Yep.
have codes anymore. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Because it's
I
hard for me
remember
to see it because I had a subscription. I had the 1 year subscription,
Yeah.
and I just cleared that out. So now I'm actually seeing my credits,
Right.
but my credits didn't take over until yesterday.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm getting new credits or not until I won't know until next week to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
So
And so I like this lab. I've even like here's the deal. I don't know if you can see this. I was just sitting here looking like on this laptop. I've got that sticker right. So I think that was the one we did last week, or that's the one for this week.
uh-huh.
And if you do, so like if you go to the conference and you do them, you'll get a sticker. I also noticed I got the sticker on that laptop, so I know I've done it twice. I don't
I
have it
want
on that
I
one.
want stickers.
Well, that's another thing. You know, so we're actually just chit chatting, right? So we're kind of,
Yeah.
I'm kind of taking it as Busa said he's brain dead, I'm brain dead, and you were saying we want to do like at the end of the thing, like the GDG meeting. So we're kind of in the GDG meeting, so let's just talk about the GDG thing. I
Yeah.
would like to be able to get the stickers so that when people complete them that are nearby, I can give them the stickers as well, you know? I had the way I got my stickers was I'm flying out to San Francisco, and while I'm out there, all I'm doing really is attending the labs and knocking the labs out, and then going up to those people and saying, "Hey, here's my name, my ID," and they would give you a sticker, right? But because of that, I don't think I'm getting credits. I'm getting the credits because Google is passing them on when I fill out the form, but I don't think I'm getting the free monthly. I mean, I don't even know what's going on. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was say. Because we're the organizers,
Yeah.
we're getting our credits up front. But I was concerned because I wasn't, I participated in some of the labs we did before,
Yeah.
but because I had a subscription, I didn't see, or my subscription overrode me actually using credits. And I think I had maybe 20 credits within the past day and a half that were just simply going to expire tomorrow.
Right.
And so I used them last night, just kind of playing around, to go through, and I could actually see the number decrease. So yeah, looking at that and just trying to figure it out. So, Musa, let me know if you go through and you enroll and you don't get that 30 days of credit.
All right. I'll let
Because we definitely want to troubleshoot that and make sure that's working properly. We're telling everybody the right things within
Right.
that. So
Right. I'm just
Okay.
going to show the screen here for a second. So, and the thing is, Musa, if we can't get you the credits via the quick labs by the prescribed method, we can always just give you credits from our account, right?
yeah,
So maybe like I'm literally legitimately, since I unenrolled and I'm restarting, it's showing that I've completed these two, but he's not showing that I've completed this, so I don't know what that matters. But I will say up here, someplace, there's a setting, and I can show you. So if you run into it and
Yeah,
you're not,
that's why I went to.
like, so I've got 1,000 credits, right? So I can give you 1,000 credits. I mean, I can give you some credits, and I know someplace here I have done it before. Let me just see.
on that your public profile, yeah, it'll show you all your badges.
There's a section though where it shows you.
let me do this. Let me run through those labs, and then if I'm not able to proceed any longer, I'll just message you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, so right now, all I got to do is I put you in. I think this thing. Yeah, and so I just put your name in here, and then you get credits, and you come.
All right.
I think you actually just use my pool, right? So if I've got 1,000, you're getting them from my 1,000, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I've put them in there before, and you get the emails, and I know that those people do get the credits. So we can. So if we can't
Okay.
get you the credits via Google Quick Labs Cloud Study Jam method, like what we were
Right.
talking, you complete the labs, and as you complete them, you get them. We can do this, and if we don't, and if we can't even do that, we can go back and find out why it's not working the prescribed way.
Cool.
Yep.
And as far as the badges, that's something that Cedric and I need to talk to Google and say, hey, it would be cool if we could give the stickers out. If you were here, I've got a box over there full of stickers from years ago that I've kept. And like for swag, and that's what I was saying, Cedric. I've got all these things, and these are probably outdated, but it's the developer's cheat sheet.
Cool.
And I've got these stickers, which are the these are like it's dirty, but these are like the old logo style. So I've even got the classic stickers. And if you want a go skate sticker, I've got that if we meet up. We got them all. And then the thing is, like, all we need to do is we need to go back to doing the meetings. When we were at the Raleigh HQ, I would hand those out. I haven't gotten any in a long time, but that's something we should talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, as we're definitely working towards getting more organized with it and
Yeah.
doing some really, to me, neat and innovative things to kind of grow this. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited about where we are. So
Yeah. I
and
didn't.
Musa, definitely. What I'll say really quick is I literally have 6 credits right now that will expire tomorrow. So if you need some credits, I can send them to you.
Yeah.
If you're not, do you intend to use them, or they're just gonna go to waste? If they're gonna go to waste, I intend to after I'm gonna take a nap because I need to refresh my brain, and then I'm going to try to knock out those labs.
I understand.
Yeah,
Let me send these over to you.
cool.
So they expire in a well. Let me see what happens when I hit the button.
The other thing, Cedric, I noticed that we didn't take the screenshot for how many people were in here, but
We did not.
I'm going to take it now. We also, I don't think we talked to Khan enough. I saw he rejoined. I recognized his name, and I meant to, talk to him, and I didn't. I didn't get a chance. It was just because I wasn't. It's just too much going on, man. I'm telling you.
You recorded the stream, right, John?
I'm recording the stream, and I think 9 out of 10 times I actually had it unmuted when I was talking. It's unmuted
Yeah, you
now.
can. What I was going to suggest was to grab to do the screen grab from the stream.
The URL, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, this is not a good. The current count we have of participant is not an accurate reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we started out really the first session. We started out really good.
Yeah,
Right.
And I will tell you another thing regarding the stream, which is bad. I spent time talking about the stream and yada yada yada, and I'm recording on my primary screen, but when I noticed this as I was doing it, and I was like, God Almighty, I really need to get 2 computers up to do this, so I don't have this problem. I did not put in the screen. I didn't drag Cedric's I didn't drag the Meet URL over to the primary screen, so they didn't. No one saw anything. They were just seeing me typing on a Vim window. So
Oh no.
yeah. So like, dude, I'm like totally frazzled. I need to really get my stuff in gear and I need to go back. I've got the laptop there. I need to take time, get that laptop, stream with him on the join session, and yada yada yada. It's bad. It's bad. Oliver, you made it back. Thank you for coming back. Are you there?
Musa, if you could post your email address so I can go ahead and send these over
Oh,
to you.
okay. Let me post that.
Oliver and Okjay, come on. I know you guys have something to say. Guys and gals, you have something to say. Talk to us. Get that mic unmuted and talk to us.
And what do you want? We were saying.
You just practice anything you want to say. What do you have to say? That's it.
Okay. Oh, I'm half. I'm
Yeah.
half today.
Yeah.
Well, I will look on this topic, cloud IAM, this week,
Yeah.
and I did some other thing this week. It's with it's from Google. You can try labs, and then you can win an isolated. I believe you name thermos, a coffee can.
Oh, you get a stainless steel thermos, and what's the contest? Can you show us?
Now you have to make 32 labs, and it's very difficult. So I succeed half.
Well, show us the URL there. Come on, like we don't even. You know things that we don't know.
I will look for a moment. It's and it's a very good possibility to exercise because it's free and it is no time limit or something.
Yeah.
I look for you.
Yeah, I would love to see that too.
Yep.
Oh, it's on the. When someone is looking, it's always takes more time.
Imagine that. Do you want to be an organizer? So, like, there's organizations that do this, and they're like super professional, and then there's us. We're the collection of misfit toys. So if you come in
Okay.
and be slow typing while you're trying to show something and not be organized, you'd fit right in. You can organize as well.
I know.
I know.
I'm a PHP organizer in Europe.
Oh, PHP, the Python, MySQL.
No, I live in the north of the Netherlands, and we have we have a group in our town, Groningen. But in lockdown, everything was online, so there were only a few groups in Europe. So my meetup is very popular in whole world now.
A YouTube
I have
star.
I have also a member in Kabul,
Uh-huh.
where the war is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I don't know if he is. This is the link,
Okay.
and well, it's you can make a copy and try, and it's with 32 labs, and then you can win prizes, all prizes, with the logo of Google.
Okay. All right. So once again, those are the labs that I bet you what you could do. It would be a drag if this is the case. I bet you it's the same thing, same process. Like you got to unenroll from the quest and start the quest with that thing, and I wonder if they, because you're trying to do the other one for the credits, I wonder if they would step on one another or they would complement one another. Like if you've done some, if you've created, if you've completed the lab, whatever, would you have to like literally like redo it every time, or would it be like, oh, you've already done this one, that one's checked, you ain't got to worry about it. Oliver, also, just real quick, you said, have you finished the quest? No, we did the first step in the quest and knocked it out, and then we did the ore lab, the second lab, but it's not the next step in the quest. It's the optional one. We're just taking it a little slower. And welcome, Laverne. I got your email saying you were going to join at 1 if we were going to still be online. However, we're all kind of like brain dead.
Okay.
Your mic's working. That's good.
Yeah, I was on my iPad earlier, so I.
But that's good, Jay, because that's a really nice thing. You could win something. You get credits outside of the study jam, and possibly, if you're like a real go-getter, you could do both, and you could get credits and some prizes, physical prizes.
Oh, I try all things.
Good deal. Good deal.
So we will see how it will. It's very difficult to learn things about the cloud because it's there are much possibilities.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's good to just do something each week, right? Because
Yes.
even,
Then it's only a few hours, and then you try another thing.
Yep, and that's why I don't want to belabor it to make it like a half a day of work of 4 hours on this, because then it becomes an effort and it's not enjoyable, in my opinion. I learn better when it's a leisurely pace rather than I'm just trying to cover something because of a forced deadline, because you're just, it seems like you're spending more time and stress thinking about completing it rather than thinking about it and enjoying it.
And next week it's on the same time.
Yeah. So what I'm going to try to do as far as these two users groups, I got to keep them separate because both cloud providers doesn't like it if you do it a joint thing. So I'm going to try to say for 2 hours, 10 to 12, it will be GCP, and then resume what we did previously. We break for lunch and we come back 1 to 3 doing AWS. And it's the same thing. I got to get something going every week on AWS so I can at least keep my chops up. It's an expression, right? You're keeping in it, and if you're in it just a little bit, you'll reinforce it. Versus if you're not doing it, it'll fade.
Okay, we will see.
Yeah. Do you do any AWS?
Yes, I invited for my own group, my PHP group. I invited the speaker from AWS, and I believe the people enjoyed the information.
Yeah, I literally this week for the first time. Now I didn't do it. I would just say is I had that problem with the SSL certs and stuff, and I resolved that. And my buddy, he was like, "Hey man, I need to get on Azure. Can you do Azure?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't even have an account for Azure." I was like, "Just give me the broker name. If you give me the broker name of what you're trying to connect with MQTT, then from that I can go out and I can find out what your SSL certificates are needed, and then I can literally like just put that in, and I can put it into like the U blocks, which is a chip on this board, and then I can give it to him, and he's like good to go, right? And he has all the Azure code. He just needed the SSL endpoints put in there. And I wanted one of these days I want to talk to that about that because I think that would be something that I could explain to you, everybody there, and you would all be able to understand it, and I think it would be significant. I also want to talk about the GitHub stuff someday, just how to use Git and have like a big Git session again. And that's why I've been trying to throw this in as much. And Cedric is making a chat bot for the Slack channel. That's good because that's the first going to be the joint effort of somebody else doing something for this thing. But I definitely want to get into putting all this stuff underneath our belt so that we can do something as a project as a whole. And I've been saying that for months, and we need to like start moving towards that. And Cedric is the first step in that direction.
Okay.
Yay.
Yeah, yay. And it's also easier when you got a buddy. It's motivating, you know. You got somebody that'll pull you along when you're climbing up the next objective.
That is so true.
Yeah. Other than that,
All right.
I am tired, and I will refresh myself being out in the sunlight, sweating.
All right. So I'm okay to end here. John, I'll reach out to you either later today or tomorrow to get the AW stuff so we can get that prepared for prepare and get that started for next week.
Yep. And one last thing is really to Cedric and Laverne. I mentioned I wanted to have that wrap up, and here we're doing a wrap up and we're talking to everybody, but I want to, because it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get the email until the set aside time goes away, and Google is going to send me that eval email, and I've just been like trying to do it the best that I could, and I want to make sure that I've got that in there. Oliver, you put your email up there. Is that the email that you want for the GitHub repo? I think you're already in there.
Yes, I'm in.
Okay, good. The thing so what I'm gonna do, I literally want to go outside to work. I may not do it today. It might be tonight or tomorrow, and we can just screen share it real quick, and I'll call both of you up. And basically, it's like, here's the email Google sends. Here's how I'm filling it out. But can you help me make sure that I'm hitting all the check boxes right? Because when you look at our, well, first off, I've mentioned, I'm worried about the way that I'm not doing it right. But if you look at the console in Community Dev, it has reds and greens, and I don't know why it's red, right? And we need to. I would prefer when I look up there, it's like what it used to be when it was all greens, right? So
Okay.
Something's happened. But we're gonna have to actually screen share because I want to show you what I'm talking about.
All right. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Musa, thank you for joining again, and Antias, thank you for going. And Oliver, thank you for.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you, Cedric.
Yep. Glad everybody joined. Continue
Thanks.
participating, and we'll continue doing this. And looks like we're gonna grow this out and do even more. Super excited.
Yep, super good. I will talk to you later. I'm gonna end the call, and you guys can keep on. Bye bye.
All right. Well, I'm heading out now too. So bye bye. Bye everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.